Thank you for joining us today. Spirits Victoria Association is looking at the WSET Level 2 Spirits course. I'm joined by Sarah Andrew, who is the WSET Head of Development for Asia Pacific. Thank you for joining us today, Sarah. It's pleasing to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about the Level 2 Spirits course?
Absolutely. Thanks, Geoff, for having me. So the Level 2 award in Spirits falls within our Spirits Awards program, which is a global qualification. Level 2 is our mid-tier. It is generally for someone that has been working in the industry for a period of time. They may have a specialisation in a particular style or category of spirits, but they're wanting to know a little bit more. They may wish to know more about other categories. They may wish to know more about distillation, product position, and the course is set up for anyone from distillation through to marketing, sales, IT, and anything in between. You do not need to have any prior knowledge, so we do set you up for building blocks from raw materials, production, fermentation, distillation, maturation, and final quality and style of spirit. The quality assessment is a really important one. So for those of you that are distillers, this is a real value add. And a big component of our qualification that is very different to IBD is that we look at systematic approach to tasting, and we equip you with the skills to assess a spirit from sight, nose, taste, and quality assessment consistently across key categories of spirits, Geoff. Absolutely. So, Geoff, we've just covered a really interesting discussion around Level 2 award in spirits. And one of the biggest benefits you found as a distiller and as a student that's just completed the course successfully is the actual systematic approach to tasting, which sets WSET apart from global competition, whether it be wine, spirits, sake or beer. So the systematic approach to tasting for Level 2 assumes you've got no prior experience. You can come into it having never tasted spirits before. You may have a specialisation in whiskey, but nothing else. You know nothing about grape spirits. You know nothing about agave or grain. It doesn't matter. What we teach you is the calibration of how to assess any spirit around the world the same way for the same quality assessment outcome. We teach you to identify the raw materials. We then teach you to identify fermentation esters. We then teach you to have an understanding of distillation and how that presents on the nose and the palate. We look at maturation, if maturation's involved, and then we look at that final quality assessment piece. So that by the end of Level 2 award in spirits, across categories of fruit spirits, grain, vodka, agave, wine, you are able to do a quality assessment in completion successfully with confidence that if you then wish to step into a career in which you need to be assessed on that, or you need to deliver that as part of your career, you then step into Level 3, which we do a deep dive into tasting of spirits around the world. And the examination for Level 3 has a tasting component. Level 2, you're applying your theory, you're learning that calibration for tasting, but your exam for Level 2 is theory only. So it really sets you up with the foundations to work in the distillers industry or in hospitality, or caveats of that, to set you up. If you would like to go further, you would then step up into Level 3 award in spirits.
I found it really helpful when I was doing the course to get a really comprehensive set of systems to be able to go through and learn tasting. And it was really helpful to be provided with that. You call it a systematic approach to tasting, and it really is a systematic approach. I wasn't examined on that, so it gave me a little bit of confidence to at least start the process of learning this before I go down the path of looking to be tested on it. Sarah, I want to talk about the technology platform that you use. I found that really, really helpful. Can you explain a bit about how that works?
Absolutely. So we are very much now relying on artificial intelligence. We use Canvas as the learning platform, which is a big education platform. We use it globally for all of our awards in wine, beer, spirits, and sake. We offer level 1, 2, and 3 online for spirits. It is offered over for level 2 award in spirits, which is the course that you took, Geoff. It's conducted over 5 weeks. It starts on a Monday, it finishes on a Sunday. There are 6 modules that you can take in your own time. You can log on any time of the day or night that works for you. If you're a night owl, you can log on at 1 o'clock in the morning and you can work through the modules. If you wanted to take a week off work and work through all 6 modules in the 1 week, you can. The guided learning is approximately 30 hours. You have an online tutor that engages with you, encourages you to submit tasting notes. You get feedback on those. There are recommendations on samples to taste and you get feedback on those. There are cue cards in which you can do a Q&A. You're asked a question and then you can flip it over and you see the answer. So there's lots of interactory engagement. There are discussion groups. There's an information platform. The online educator has a chat once a week, which is live on time. Depending on where the educator in the world is, the time zones may not be great, but I have had the heads up that the next online that starts on the 25th of November, registration actually closes tomorrow. We do have an Australian level 3 certified educator that is one of the tutors. So that timing will work. The beauty of this is it's asynchronatic. You can just tap in and tap out over 6 weeks to fit into your work commitments and your lifestyle to get the best of your learning abilities.
I really found the interactive learning quite surprising. I'm a little bit old school. I prefer to read a printed book, but this was the first time I've tried online learning where the variety of the way it's delivered was enough to continually keep me engaged. I thought it was really good. I think it's presented very, very well and it works very, very well as an online system. You've got a number of dates that are up for enrolment over the next 6 or 7 months. Can you go through those?
I can, absolutely. And then I might pivot back after I've done that just to talk a little bit more about the online learning and the extra resources offering for Australian Distillers Association and Spirits Victoria. So the next course starts on the 25th of November and runs through for 5 weeks through until the 29th of December. Registration does actually close tomorrow, close of business, to onboard you in the online platform on time. We then have 20th of January through
15th of November that it closes?
November.
Thank you.
No, you start on the 25th of November. Registration actually closes tomorrow. So depending on when this video goes out, it is close of business tomorrow. The next course is January, 20th of January through to the 23rd of February. We then have 17th of March to the 20th of April. We then have 12th of May to the 15th of June. And the last one for our academic year is 7th of July through to 7th of June through to the 10th of August. And what will happen in those time periods for the course is you will have your 5 weeks of online learning. In addition, the Australian Distillers Association has a lot of extra value add that I will speak about in a moment. But once your course is completed, you're given 3 or 4 dates to book in to sit an online exam. You can sit it at home, you can sit it at work. You're using a laptop and a mobile phone, and it's 50 multiple choice in an hour. You do it online, you press submit, and your results go immediately to the UK to be assessed. And then you'll get your results within the next week, 2 weeks tops after that. So that's how the course works and the assessment works. In collaboration with the Australian Distillers Association, what we wanted to do was add a value add to Australian distillers. And so we have an onboarding workshop that happens the second day after you're registered online to the online platform. It's a meet and greet. You get to meet 2 educators here in Australia. We talk you through what happens over the next 5 weeks. And then as a value add in addition, week 2 and week 4, we have 2 90-minute Zoom tastings live, in which we connect with one of our specialist spirits professionals, either from the Americas or the UK, in addition to one or two of us here in Australia. And we have an online tasting for that calibration to work through different categories and styles of spirits to build up your confidence in terms of talking about spirits and assessing spirits from a quality perspective. So that's a value add we're doing just for the Australian Distillers Association. And to support that, we do have a tasting pack that can be purchased through Sweet and Chili, which is the same tasting samples that we're all using globally.
You can use your own spirits that you might have in the cupboard at home. That's okay as well. I found those online sessions really, really good because there was a small group of us that were participating rather than a broader international group, and they really allowed us to target our questions, to be able to get feedback that was far more relevant to the Australian position and the Australian palate. The level 2 course follows into a level 3 course. Do you have any understanding of when a level 3 course would be available for Australian Distillers members?
Absolutely. So there is the option through several approved providers for WSET to step outside this format that WSET is working with Australian Distillers Association. We have an approved provider in Perth, we have one in South Australia, we have one in New South Wales and one in Queensland that offer level 3 award in spirits. Most of them are in person, but we'll consider hybrid options. What we're discussing with the Australian Distillers Association is once we have the momentum of enough members going through this current collaboration, if we've got a cohort big enough, we can then start to offer the level 3 award in spirits dates, and there'll be global dates in a similar format. And what we would do is we'd connect you into the global platform in which you might have 60 or 70 peers that are studying all around the world. You'll have a global online educator, but you would also have myself, who's level 3 qualified to teach spirits in a domestic setting, and we'll have one of our spirits team educators to do those smaller tastings for that value add, similar to what you experienced, Geoff, for level 2. So that's something that we can discuss early into 2025. And offline, I can share the dates with you of those level 3 dates if you would like.
So stay tuned is the answer. Finally, Sarah, I wanted to this is just for the Victorian distillers that might be watching. The Victorian distillers have access to an upskilling distillers fund through until the 31st of December 2024. The system has been set up so that if you register through the Australian Distillers website for these for the level 2 course, the amount that is in your fund for upskilling distillers will be deducted from the course fees, and if you do need to pay an additional amount, that would be billed to you separately by Australian distillers, so you're not having to pay for this up front. And in my case, I had sufficient funds in the Upskilling Distillers Fund for me to be able to have this fully covered. So it's something that for Victorian distillers is almost a no-brainer. This is the sort of course that you should be doing to increase the skill set that you have in an industry that is all about learnings and genuine experience and skills. Sarah, did you want to add anything else today?
No, I don't think so. It's well, actually, I'd like to share that we have literally just all but hit our 100,000th candidate for awards in spirits globally, which is huge. Fantastic. Given we only separated wine from spirits in 2019. So globally, we're having some great success. We've got big import distribution companies that are stepping in to run bespoke courses, which is why we really wanted to jump on board with the Australian Distillers Association to support. So if you've got funding there, I would strongly recommend you're registered. I don't know how it works, Geoff, in terms of registering before December end for something next year, whether that's accepted, but we've certainly got lots of dates next year that will go ahead. If that's an option, I'd strongly encourage you to use government funding to upskill with a global qualification.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time today, Sarah, and thank everyone for having a look at the video.